welcome to the Mortgage Minute. I am Ben Cason here with Vern, Larson, and Cassie Stevens of Land Title. How are y'all doing?
Great. Good morning.
Good morning. So we're going through the process of home buying. We had an inspector on last week. We talked already to a realtor. Now we're stepping it up and we're bringing in a title officer.
Yes. So something you're really never going to know about your transaction. We're gonna talk to you about today. So one of our great experts here in town is Cassie Stevens. She's the branch manager at Land Title and Guarantee. And some things you don't know about her is we were in Vegas and she actually got me married, Ben.
Really?
Yeah. We were standing outside of the MGM and it was just like, what are we going to do now? And Cassie looks at me and my wife and she says, you two ought to get married. We weren't married at the time. And so next thing you know, bada bing, bada boom, I was married. So be careful if you hang out with Cassie. You might end up like in some crazy.
I signed off and everything. It was great.
She was the witness.
She was the witness.
I was the witness.
Wow. That is awesome.
But she is a true professional. She works at Land. What other things have you done?
You know, I took a tiny little break and I actually went into the mortgage side. I was a loan officer for about 5 years. Let me tell you, that's a tough job. So
loan officer is
a tough
She
job.
actually won Lender of the Year. Don't let her.
Oh, wow.
Don't let her fool you. She knows what she's doing in all facets of the business.
Lender of the Year. So let's talk about what a title company is and what you do there. So for kind of in layman's terms, can you talk to me about what is your job from day to day look like?
Sure. So currently right now I'm the branch manager. So I manage the office here in Pueblo. But what we do at Land Title is we are the title insurance for the new owners and sellers that come in. We're here to provide the title policy for them to make sure they have clear ownership of their property, make sure they're clear of any liens, judgments, anything that could be a title defect to their property. Yeah.
Cool.
So, but we do a lot more than that. So that's just the title side of things. Then we get to do the fun part of the closing. That's the fun part I like.
Yeah, the closing is definitely the fun part. We're not there yet. We've talked to people about their credit. So we've talked about getting your credit fixed. We have an episode on that. We've talked about, what not to do during the mortgage process because you know how people end up sitting at the title company and they can't close because of something. Well, we've given them those things. We've talked to Nick at Remax about the importance of having a real estate agent. Right. And then we've just had Bob in and did home inspection. So now we're up on you. So in this part of the transaction, I would order the title work. So I would order title work. We're going to get our loan insured and we're going to have the people having their property checked out on title. So what are things you guys look for?
So we look for any kind of anything that was not transferred properly. So that's a thing that can happen to a party is a wrong legal description can be transferred and then you don't own what you think you own. It can be transferred incorrectly by another deed or the lack thereof. A signature that was missing or not transferred properly. So the importance of title insurance is huge. People, they're not very familiar with it, but the thing about title insurance, it's a one-time fee. It's a one-time fee for a lifelong policy that you own that property. And we are here to ensure that you are getting that property free and clear and away from anything that would be a title defect to them.
So you're making sure, like, if I go buy a house and there's some guy who's like, well, my great ancestor owned this in 1884 and I never signed off on you having this, like that would be what you'd be there for.
Correct. We are here to make sure there are no title defects to that property.
And, if somebody has done some work to a property, maybe put a roof on there and there's a mechanic's lien or something like that, they're going to find it. Maybe the prior owner had, some really bad credit situation, had a judgment against title. They're going to know and be able to ensure that everything is paid, that the property is transferring to you with no liens.
Right.
Gotcha. So that means like if like someone was hired to do the roof and then you just didn't pay them all the way, and then if you buy the house, you would be stuck with that. You guys make sure that doesn't happen.
We make sure that doesn't happen. We make sure for Vern's side of things as a lender that he is getting his lender's policy also clear, that there's nothing in there that would take precedence over his first deed of trust.
So basically, I have to be in first position, because if you're not first, you're last.
If you're not first, you're last.
Oh, yes.
That'd be a good name for this episode. If you're not first, you're last.
If you're not first, you're last with Cassie Stevens.
That's right.
And then what are some mistakes people make in their title? Do you know,
Sure.
I think it's a good idea, right, to go put my kid on title. He's 12 years old. If I die, he automatically gets the house.
Right.
Is that a good idea?
That's a horrible idea. So those are the kind of things that's why you want to have the title insurance. We, of course, are not attorneys. We're not going to give any kind of legal advice. But I can tell you right now, a person who's under the age of 18 without having a conservatorship, they can't sign off on that deed. So people just assuming title things sorry, making sure that
That was Matt. He's having a real fun time. Matt's having a real good time
Sorry
downstairs.
about that. So yes, we are there to ensure the right way to make sure these deeds are done correctly. Some of the things that we have found, I can assure you that there's been wrong legal descriptions that might be actually on a contract. And we try to catch those, make sure that there's no issues there. Grandma, grandpa deeding a property and they leave out a lot. Something to that effect where they're not getting that actual title. So what they think they own, they really don't. Or encroachments.
Yeah, and it's never a good idea to prepare your own deeds. Even if
Never.
you look at a deed and you think okay, I know how to do this, quit claim deed and move title around. You think you can do it, but if you make a mistake and then later on, it can create a huge issue and a lot of problems. I mean, Cassie will get it solved if there is that situation already. They have the workarounds. It just costs some money. So yeah, if no matter what you do, use a title company.
Please.
Yeah. Can you explain real quick, like what is a deed? You mentioned do your own deeds.
Sure. So the way transfer of ownership happens are there are certain deeds that transfer ownership from one to another. So there's certain deeds that are transferred by if somebody is deceased, some that are transferring by a special warranty deed, a general warranty deed, or a quitclaim deed. And each of them have a little bit of difference to them. But a lot of people try to use a quitclaim deed just to transfer the interest. And that's usually where all the title defects are. Statistically, about 36% of transactions just through history are done incorrectly.
36%.
36%.
Wow.
So it doesn't seem large, but it is.
That's huge.
That's huge.
This is huge.
That's huge. Just because people think they are doing it correctly.
So do you have any like crazy stories of like errors that you found that just like stick out as like, that's nuts. Didn't think that would happen.
Every day is something new. I've been doing this for about 28 years now, and there is something new every single day. So nothing that's just particularly out there, but there's a lot of stories.
I can speak to one. I was looking at, 3 acres of land. And so we were under contract and we were, everything on the surface appeared well, looked good.
Yeah.
Got the title commitment over to Cassie at Land Title, and she calls and she said, "You do realize that you're only buying a half ownership of this property." So the legal description was half ownership. So there was another half
Just somewhere
out there in space, and we didn't know who or what and it was just a crazy scenario. But they did find the workaround. They had to quiet the title basically and make it work. So it was a long legal process that took about 2.5 to 3 months, but they fixed it. But if I would have signed off on that and said, okay, I'm good with buying half the property, or if I didn't have a title company, I was like, okay, I bought half the property, and then all of a sudden
the other half comes up.
this error magically appears. Yeah, it's Ben. Here he comes. Hey, thanks for building me a house on this 3 acres. Like, which room's mine?
Yeah.
So it's super important. It's crazy things pop up, a lot of liens, a lot of old stuff, and you want that insurance. You want, you're going to get homeowners insurance to protect you in the event of a disaster. Same stuff here.
Yes.
Do you run into like issues like that a lot with Pueblo? Like a lot of the older houses and stuff like that? Are there just weird inconsistencies?
There are some. There are. One of the ones that just happened, I think, last year with Mickey, we had a senior and a junior. So same name. And truly, it was signed off by deceased. So deceased father owned property, and son tried to sell property. But it wasn't his property.
But he didn't transfer it.
Correct. So he just assumed that he could go sell this property because he had the same name, even though true ownership was under Dad, who was deceased. So things like that, if we would have just let that go, or if they just would have done a deed, Dad's ownership would not have been transferred properly, and who should have received some proceeds would never have received them. So that would have been huge. So it's things like that, yeah, we're hopefully able to catch and to correct, and we're going to do our best to correct everywhere we can.
Yeah. Well, speaking from my side of the table, obviously Vern's job is the same way, but both of you guys, what you do is so complicated and so case by case. It's like, I don't know how you could ever be like, I'm doing this myself, if that makes sense. Like, there's just so much to it. And obviously you've seen a lot, of every single thing. Vern always says, and he's like, I've seen everything when it comes out.
Yes.
So, like, you guys are pros at what you do in these really complicated spaces. So, being in here talking with you guys and just, knowing the wealth of knowledge you guys have and wealth of experiences, it's wild to me that anyone would just try and do it themselves with how much is just in the wind.
We say that every day. I'm not kidding. There's things that pop up and you're just like, what did they do? And it's just a lack of knowledge, and it's a lack of also somebody not wanting to pay for it. For me, a one-time fee for the rest of the policy, as long as I own it, that's not a bad price. So, but I am in that business for it. So I will never, ever say for anybody else to do it themselves, ever.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So can you guys kind of walk me through, if I'm the buyer, we've already gone through the process, right? And I've got my house under contract. I've got it inspected. I've got my realtor. I've got Vern set up the loan for me. What do I have to do to get the title figured out with you guys?
You don't have to do anything.
Okay.
That's what we're here for. Yes. We're the professionals. We hire it. But a lot of people ask me the question, and kind of why I wanted to bring Cassie on the show is, why am I paying these title fees? Like, what are they for? So this is the first part of the title. We're ensuring that you get that clean ownership. There's nothing out there. The deeds have all been transferred right. You're going to take title correctly the way you want it, and there's different ways you can take title. There's different tenancies, joint tenant, and so the title company will explain all those to you, get you the exactly where you need. So we order all of this stuff for you. You get all the reports in your email. If you have any questions, land title. Honestly, every title company in Pueblo, Colorado is amazing to work with. They are all professional. They're all really good. But you have any questions at all, call any of them, any of the people that are on your title commitment, and they'll answer them for you. But then the next time we bring Cassie back, it's going to be a lot funner, huh, Cass? The next time she's in here, we're going to be talking about closing.
Well, that's right.
You guys get to hear all my fun closing jokes. But yeah, that'll be the next time we have her. But actually ordering the title, you don't have to. We'll do that. Your real estate agent will review it. Your mortgage person will review it. So
yes.
So nothing that the buyer has to do himself. They just can see, the expenses on there.
Right. They're gonna make sure their names are correct, their property is correct, what fees they're going to pay. Yep.
That's huge.
That's just a little part.
That's awesome, guys.
Yes.
What got you into this line of work, Cassie?
I needed a real job.
Nice.
No, truly, about 28 years ago, I was working at the mall, and I really needed a real job, and I had just had my son, and so that my aunt actually at the time was working for a company called Pueblo Title, and said they needed a delivery person. And so I applied, and Mickey Catalino, who also works with us now, she hired me the next day. And from that moment on, I've just kind of worked my way up through the title ranks. And
awesome.
Yeah.
What are some things Land Title does in the community? Anything?
You know what? Larissa Wiley, she's our sales representative. She is huge in a lot of boards that she does. So we try to make sure we're involved in everything we can with the community. We love to give back. Just recently, Land Title, for every year, we love to give closing fees back to the community. And this year we did it for mental health. And I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but I want to say something around $50,000 that was given to 7 different entities that belong to mental health. And that was through all of Land Title. We're all in Colorado. And it was a huge, huge number for us to be able to donate and give that back.
So you're just Land is just Colorado based?
We are only based in Colorado. We've had the same ownership for over 50 years.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, it's homegrown and it's wonderful. The owner of the company, I can promise you, he knows everybody by name. And there's over 700 employees. So
That's
great
so cool.
company, great company.
That's so cool. Vern,
Yes.
what's been your experiences working with Land Title over the years?
Awful. Just
Just the worst.
Oh, geez.
You know.
When they took away the cookies for COVID, I almost had a meltdown. Like, I'm legit almost had a meltdown.
I am going to vouch for that. He really did almost have a meltdown.
No, they've been great to work with. I've been working with them for 20 some years. So, love Cassie, love her staff, love everything about Land Title. Really good people. Do you have a choice if you're a person on your title company you want to use?
Yes. Like if I wanted to use somebody else?
Yeah. So if I'm selling my house and do I get to pick my title company
You
or is
sure
it just
do.
kind of assigned?
You know what? No. So you get to choose who you want to use. So if you come to us at Land Title, you get to choose who you want. We have several different closers, all with great different personalities, and you might even have one that one customer is going to work better with another closer than they did the next one. So yeah, you always get a choice.
Good. That's
Yes,
awesome. So let's
yes.
flip that over, Cassie. What's been your experiences with Vern and Advantage Home Mortgage?
Oh boy. No, we love Vern. We love his staff. They're great to work with. You know what? When they want it, they want it. And that's been really good for the team. We know the nice thing has been we've been able to communicate well together and really focus on truly what the needs are for one another. And, you know, when title work is ordered, this is what we want and how fast we need it. And I think we've worked really well together as a team.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Hey, thank you guys so much for coming in. We appreciate you. Cassie, we'll see you in a few weeks, right?
All right.
How does somebody get a hold of you, Cassie, if they need to get a hold of Land Title?
So you can call us, you can email us. I'm here at Land Title in the Pueblo office at 719-545-1700, or stop in. We're downtown in the Thatcher building, and we love to see everybody.
You used to be able to get a cookie, but not
No more
right now.
cookies. Not right now. Soon, hopefully, soon.
It's still really fancy in there. I've been, it's
Yes, it's a great building.
It is a
We
great
love
building.
it. We love it.
Thanks for
Yes.
taking the time to come down, Cassie.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate
we
it.
appreciate you, Cassie. And as well, you can also catch Vern at Advantage Home Mortgage. How would they get you?
The best way is just give us a call. We'll answer all your questions. 719-546-3100. You can jump on any of our social media and apply online also.
That's right. Yeah, Vern's a pro at this. I mean, if you go listen to any of these things, he's got so much knowledge in these things. Cassie is as well. We appreciate both you guys.
Thank you.
Cassie, we'll see you in a few weeks for the end of the series.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
guys. We appreciate you. Thank you guys so much for listening. This has been the Mortgage Minute. Go check out our previous episodes and keep your eye out. It's every Thursday right here. Thank you guys for joining us. Have a great rest of your day.